not as dumb as I look. And I know that I'm standing between you and a beer. And nickel pan. So I'm just going to add a couple of comments and close this off. People sometimes ask, well, how did you get so involved with the civil rights movement, or why are you still involved? And I think those who watched that program, the 50-year anniversary of the Freedom Rides, got some insight into how we felt in the early 1960s. When I was elected president of the National Student Association in 1961, we went down to Jackson, Mississippi in September of 1961, and went to the first SNCC meeting. Diane Nash was there as the leader of the group that took on the Freedom Rides. And as the police came to the front door of our meeting to have her arrested, she went out the back door and got out of Mississippi. And Diane Nash is one of those people that inspired me for life, and as you saw in that program on public television, when she said, or she was told by the president's representative, if somebody could get killed, you should stop this march and you should stop the Freedom Rides. She said, we all signed our last will last night. We know somebody's going to die, but we think it's worth what we're doing. And the look on Siegenthaler's face was almost too much. The thought that a young woman would say that we have signed our last will and testament and we're ready to die for what we believe in said more than almost anything that we can say. It was the thought of John Lewis, who led that march to Selma, and crossed that bridge and almost got killed as we crossed that bridge, and why that made such a difference. And here in Wisconsin, where we had to see the problems of in Milwaukee, crossing with Father Garvey, trying to cross the bridge and meet on the other side. This has been a state that's been, you know, John has made the point very beautifully. We've been good, but we also have a long way to go. I think that when I look at this crowd today, and when we think about what Fighting Bob has done for all of us, it really just gives us choices. Those young people like Bob Moses, he started the first voter registration project in Georgia. Believe it or not, the money that we raised from the Marshall Field Foundation to pay the salaries of the SNCC workers to go out and organize. And the first black couple he brought in to be registered to vote, he was pistol whipped by the sheriff and almost killed. Bob Moses made a choice. He was going to continue that fight until they were able to register people without the fear of losing their lives. Rosa Parks, as you know, made a wonderful choice. She was told she had a choice. She could go to the back of the bus or she could get off the bus, but that was it. And she said, no, I'm just going to sit here. I'm kind of tired and I don't think I'm going to move. And the driver said, well, I'll have to have you arrested. She said, well, do whatever you have to do. And so he got off, he called the police, and she was arrested. And as you know, the boycott went on for months after months after months. And people walked to work and walked to the stores and walked home. Finally, they integrated the system in Birmingham the same way that they had integrated the system through the Freedom Rides. And she was asked by a reporter how she felt. And she said, well, my feet are tired, but my soul is at rest. And I think that when we come together like this is more than a political gathering. It's not really a political gathering. I think it is neighbors coming together to say, what kind of a state do we want to leave to our children and grandchildren? What do we really hold dear? Is it education? Is it the challenge? Is it those who need our help? Is it Medicare? What is it? Or all of the above? And I'm just proud of the speakers who have been here today to give us the challenge that we have and give us some choices we have to think about as well. John mentioned in terms of civil rights in the state of Wisconsin, add one name to that, Philio Nash, who became our lieutenant governor in the state of Wisconsin, but he was the advisor to President Truman on integrating the armed forces. And I was asked by Mrs. Nash to preside at her funeral because I knew Philio Nash and what he had done to convince Harry Truman that you could not have a United States of America with two armies, one black and one white. And he helped to make that integration possible. He's somebody that I always respect and think about. Three core workers in Mississippi were killed because they were there to help to try to register people to vote. That was in 1961 in Mississippi burning. You saw that movie. It was real. It continues to be real. And as you think about the racism and the sexism and the problems we have in our society, we still have not overcome those barriers that we have to overcome if we're going to be one state, one nation, and one family concerned about one another. And I think that's what this is really all about. So I just want to say thank you to all of you who have given us a chance to come here today to share with you our thoughts, to get sustenance from you and a challenge from you, because that's what we need to constantly have before us. Because I'll be damned if my daughter, because she happens to be challenged and can't speak because she's autistic, is going to be discriminated against by anybody who says that the special education teachers in the state do not deserve every dollar that they're earning, because they are the people who make this a better place. Accept the idea that Milwaukee, Wisconsin is the most segregated city in the country, and it has to change. And it will change not by vouchers and by phony solutions, but by people coming together and saying, we're going to change the society together, walking together arm in arm to make this a society where we trust one another and respect one another for what we are. The governor of the state of Wisconsin right now is doing everything he can to make it difficult by dividing and conquering. We are not going to let him divide and conquer us. We are going to unify and conquer him, because we believe in the policies that they are people that inspire me every day. So let us close, and I would just ask that you all think about this day as you're driving home tonight, and think about it tomorrow. What's our next step? What do we do? Is it communication? Is it education? Is it taking this show on the road? Is it going to different cities? Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to sacrifice? Is it civil disobedience? Is it civil disobedience? I mean, think about it for a second. What is civil disobedience? It's non-violent response to a problem where you say you have no other solution to offer. And it's not easy. What changed my life in many respects is this. I grew up in a town in Burlington, Wisconsin, where until 1956 they had an ordinance that said that blacks could not stay in Burlington after sundown. Burlington, Wisconsin, cities all over the state had similar regulations and rules. I didn't talk to a black person until I was at the University of Wisconsin. And we invited the students who had participated in the sit-ins at Fisk University in Nashville. We rented 2 buses and brought students up to Madison, Wisconsin, where they met with the Student Senate. We marched to the square, had a candlelight vigil, and led the boycott of the chain stores that had segregated lunch counters in the South. What changed my life, being an Irish kid that got into a fight every night, was talking to the young people from Fisk University, who explained that they were trained in nonviolence to the point where if a demonstrator came and put a cigarette out on the back of the student in front of him, that you didn't respond except by smiling. And it's so counterintuitive to say, to smile or to wish them love for what they were doing, and yet that is how the battle was won. Maybe that's what we have to go to. It gets too easy for the Republicans or for the right wing, the Koch brothers, and somebody told me today that in the Eau Claire paper, the Koch brothers are complaining that they've been maligned. Perhaps they could all drop them a note. And apologize Wisconsin style for maligning those good people who are just trying to undermine our democracy. But I think if we can ask ourselves, what are the next steps? How do we make this a better society? How do we seek economic and social justice? And what do those terms really mean? I don't want to turn this into too much. I think we have enough emotion for the day to tell you the truth. But I do think that if we're going to expand this effort, and we're going to have a greater impact on the state of Wisconsin. Why can't we revive the progressive spirit throughout the entire state of Wisconsin and make this a beacon for the rest of the country? I don't think I'll make my choice if you'll make yours. I think the choice we have to make is let's be back here next year. Let's move to other cities and help us make this a better effort on behalf of all of those who need our help. And let's also learn from one another and figure out the best way to make this the best state in the country. Thank you very much.